Well, howdy, y'all. Yeah, um, it's just me again this week. Dad is at the doctor's, so he needs to get himself fixed up. Anyhow, yeah, he's not going to make it this week. He is back from his vacation. He did survive it. He was in Nashville, Tennessee for a couple of days, so uh, not just in Memphis, but also in Nashville. So playing around in Ken Heron's backyard for a little bit. Anyhow, Brent eating more possum, Chuck Kovacs in action. East Coast, gentlemen. And Akirasho, Warren. Howdy, fellers. So let's see, what do we start with? Probably ought to start with all these freaking leaks. I mean, DJI sprung a leak again. Where'd it go? You know, I downloaded pictures. I swear I did. And looks like the Osmo Nano is going to be like the Go 3 or the whole Insta-Go camera line. It's going to be this little bitty thing, just like the Go cameras were. And then apparently Insta 360 is coming out with another Go camera, but this time it's going to be a little bigger. Where to go? So we need to find out and see what that's all about. Not really too worried about it just yet. You know, we'll have to see what comes of it. Let's see. Here's my picture that the old man shared. Let me see. He's got some more Nashville pictures. He took the flip with him, and I think he kind of regretted it because it really, the flip is more like a flying selfie camera than anything for any kind of distance. So he said he's been fighting with that, but we'll wait for next week for his full report on that. Oh, today is Ken's place it here birthday. So Kenny, happy birthday. And I think there was another birthday this week. Anyhow, if you had a birthday in the past week, happy birthday. We'll just leave it at that. I've been busy. And I built another quad. Yeah, I know. Crazy stuff. But what does a country boy in Oklahoma do for his birthday these days? Man, this is the Deep Space Seeker 5. That's a 5-inch quad. I got X's flying motors on it. These are 2207s. Why did I get them? Because they were available. Because that seems to be the problem these days. Get anything that's available and still reasonably priced. Because Power Drone and Race Day Quads and Get FPV, they're so outrageous on their prices right now. It's ridiculous. My two sources anymore for anything FPV is either Newbie Drone or Amazon. And here's Chuck. It was earlier than Little Nate. Adding more stuff. Yeah, Icelandic style. Yeah. So, yeah, this little booger here is new. So right here in the front where you see this symbol on it, there's a GPS hidden down below there. And what I really like about this quad, see these screws that go on the TPU? See how they have that built-in washer right there? So they don't pull through the TPU? All the screws that are going through TPU have that built-in washer on them to where they don't pull through the TPU. The receiver is hidden in this little thing on the back. Again, the screws have the little washer on them. So I'm thoroughly impressed. We've got these side panels and they're out of TPU and they're flexible as all get out. They ain't gonna break on an impact. I've had that problem on the Speedy Bee when I let Callie fly it and crash it, and he crashed it. So it's 04 air unit, but they've cut out the bottom of the frame enough to where you can plug in a USB-C cable right there without it getting in the bind on the bottom plate. Because that's a problem I have on some of the other quads. So I'm going to have to take my USB-C cable and carve it down a little bit to where it goes in without being in the bind in that side hole. It flies very well. I'm very, very pleased with this thing. Well, obviously, I get crossfire antenna in the back. This is not a crossfire built because that. Has anyone done a Project Frankenstein with that Avata? Yeah, Jim's droning. He's got the Avata 1 with the 5-inch conversion on it. He does have one. But yeah, so top plate has no holes in it, so no dirt gets in there. Bottom plate, well, there's 4 screw holes, but a couple of screw holes, but it's pretty tight for the most part. So I'm pretty happy with it. No, even landing in dirt, no, of course, there's still ways for dirt to get in there, but the worst part of it is really blocked. So, again, I do like the built and embedded XT60 back here. So you just plug in the battery, makes it very nice, very, very clean. So anyway, yeah, I've taken it out this weekend for its maiden flight. Matter of fact, we could just watch it too. We have the technology. How about that? Now, what I do is a stupid little cable. I just had it earlier. So, pop that puppy in there and in here. Jim has you hidden? Why would Jim have you hidden? Let me share that screen. There. So out at the FRIA again. Having a little fun. So I'm really happy with this little guy. And then I got a new purchase too. So got another big project coming up. I was going to take the little drift with me this weekend, but I'm still having some setup issues with that thing. So I'm going to have to work on that for a bit. Was that the end of it? Well, what the heck's going on here now? This is odd. Did it just pause the video? I tell you what, that new graphics card sure makes a difference. I don't even know how good this shows up on the stream now. I don't even have a freaking monitor on. How about that? Hey, yeah, today is one of those days. You ever had one of those days where nothing really is going to work the way it's supposed to? Let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Nope. There we go. Ooh, that's this. This does not show up as well on the stream as it does on my monitors. That's for sure. Oof. I'm sorry, guys. Exposing y'all to all that. So, all right. Yeah, no, doesn't look so good on the screen here. I can let it go for a little longer. Maybe it's just because I've got this huge screen here on the wall. The one part that you don't see, I got a 43-inch TV hanging on the wall up here. So, speaking of TVs and monitors, does anybody have a good line on monitors? And I need something QHD, so 256 by 144. I'm looking at those big 49-inch screens or monitors, but the only one I really like is the Dell, the 4924 DW or something like that. I'm not going to get into the OLEDs. I'm hearing too many horror stories about the OLEDs burning in too fast. So I don't think I'm into that. Yeah, I don't know that I want to deal with the OLEDs. Yeah, I think I'm just going to avoid the OLEDs altogether because apparently they have a huge problem burning in. And no, these monitors I have here are 32-inch LGs. They have a 75 hertz refresh rate, which is fine because I don't game. So Yeah, I mean the OLED looks amazing, but the burn-in on computers that just happens way too easy. Um, these same monitors are hooked up to my work laptop and a docking station, and I use these monitors all day long. So I've used no, I'm working when I'm working. I'm working on three screens because I've got the laptop screen open. I got the 232s right here, and I mainly work on the 32s on the laptop. I got my email open, so I've got a view of my email all day long because that's how most of us. It's either email or Teams. Yeah, Miss Claus is the best. I get that. I think I'm gonna have to put in an order for Miss Claus for that Dell 49-inch monstrosity. Um, Samsung has a 57-inch, but again, it's a freaking OLED. And all the Samsung monitors, all the Samsung OLED monitors are like half price right now. They are way down in price. But if you like go on Amazon, they also have the title of frequently returned items. So uh, a lot of people have good reviews on it, but I'm hearing the burn-in issue, and if Samsung marks them down like that, apparently they're not moving. So there's a reason why those things are not moving. So yeah, no, I'm going to stick with LED, LCD. Uh, basically, the LEDs are still an LCD screen. They're just backlit by LED. So yeah, that Dell monitor is $1,500. Yeah, it's not. It's not what they call cheap. But I mean, you go looking at these monitors, and you have these 32-inch monitors, but then they don't have the plugs on them to support the resolution that they're saying they're capable, or the refresh rate they're saying they're capable of. I mean, I need both. I need display port, and I need HDMI. And that's kind of why I'm leaning toward the Dells, because the Dell has a built-in docking station. So I can eliminate the docking station on my desk here and just plug the laptop straight on the TV, and everything's good. So yeah, no, I know Samsung has application and on the monitor to deal with the burn-in, like they're shifting the pixel slightly to keep it from burning in, but YMMV, what the hell is that? Yeah, I had a 34-inch extra wide at my last job. I liked it. Your mileage may vary. Okay. Um, Dell has a 40-inch. That's supposed to be a really good one too. And here comes drone shots. Watch out. Where's Lori at tonight, Chuck? She cooking you dinner? Or are you still waiting on her to get out of work? So yeah, I'm currently being supplied. You and Lori supply the Icelandic spin, and then another friend of mine left the U.S. for a bit. He's in Portugal right now. His family lives over there. He's actually from Germany, but now they retired down around Lisbon somewhere, and now he's moved over there. Going to Canada for some Canadian whiskey. Well, you're not that far from Canada anyway. That's kind of like, no. You going to Canada, it's like when I'm going home going to Denmark, it's a half-hour drive. So I don't know how far it is for you. Probably more than half an hour, but yeah. From my parents' house to the Danish border is about a 30-minute drive. So anyway, yeah, but that new graphics card, definitely what the doctor ordered. Yeah, bootleg some drones back to the US. There you go. $90 due north. Oh, that's not too bad. That's in Texas. That's a trip across town. What graphic card? I got the 4060. I came off P Quattro P2200, and now I got the Asus Dual 4060 that I found at Best Buy for just over $300. So no, that graphics card is. I was looking at the 3050s. I mean, that would have been an upgrade from what I was coming from. Hell, that P2200 came out of my previous computer. Then I built this computer, and at the time I didn't want to spend $600 on the graphics card on top of everything else. So I just recycled the old graphics card, and now I found a deal on a 4060. And actually my drafting program, the SolidWorks, that's not even supposed to run on Windows 11 anymore, runs on Windows 11, and with his new graphic card, it runs like it bat out of hell. So I'm very, very pleased with that upgrade, because it really makes a difference on the drafting, on my drawing stuff, design stuff. So anyhow, and then I've got another little purchase. I don't know that little is the right word for it, though. Yeah. Tell me. Yeah. Go big or go home. So this is an E-flite RV7. This is actually a Vance aircraft. This is actually, in real life, this is a kit model that you can buy. But Yeah, local guy here was selling this thing, and I just could not pass this deal up. And the real neato part is right here, there's landing lights, and then right here are navigation lights. So one is green, one is red. And then there's another light on the back here, the tail light in white. So interesting little bird. And the reason I bought this thing, you see the size of that canopy? You know what's going to go in that canopy? Yep, there's going to go FPV going to go in. So let me set this puppy down for a second. And so you see the canopy and all that space that's in it. And the bottom comes out of it. So I can just take 2 screws and this whole bottom part comes out. And you can see where it's in there. And then I can just 3D print me another plate and put a camera on a pan and tilt base in that canopy. And look, they even have the dashboard drawn in this thing. So I think this is going to be a pretty freaking cool experience. Kind of excited about this one. Yeah, I'm going to fly this thing FPV. And then, you know, I can swing the camera back and forth and up and down. I might even go all crazy and get the walk snail gimbal and stick it in here. So, yeah. But, yeah, this is going to be one of my next projects. Yeah, put a gimbal as head tracking. That is kind of the idea. Here, I think I took a picture of it last night. There we go. About that. There she is, all lit up. Get your landing lights on your side. And you see the red on the floor there from the wing. You got green on this side. You got clear in the back. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun little project. Yeah, I have the pan and tilt already laying here. Yeah, the lights are proper. Yeah, this is a really nice model. Actually, the guy also had a P51 that he was selling, and yeah, that was tempting. That P51 sure was tempting, but God, the canopy was like tiny, and trying to shoehorn. Yeah, it was a P51 Mustang. Here, let me see. Fly. Here, let me pull this. And I'll share that. So yeah, this thing. But to get the pan and tilt in there would have been a bit more of a challenge. What's hard to see is that console in the front comes up so high, you'd have a hard time looking over the top of it. So and the one he had a little good ding on the wing right there. I don't know if he ran into something or what, but just for what I'm trying to do, that one is better suited. So that's what I'm gonna. Let's see. In this picture, you kind of can see how high that console in the front is. And you want to get a camera, you get this blue stuff in the way, it's going to be hard to see. Yeah, he also had a T-28 for sale. The guy has a whole freaking collection of stuff that he's not flying anymore. But yeah, no, that P-51 was tempting, but I think I'm gonna stick with the little trainer for now. The other thing, a P-51 flies on 4S only, where the one I got, the RV7, flies on 3S and 4S, and I actually have 3S batteries, and actually the batteries out the VTOL fit in that thing too and get me the center of gravity right. So I'm probably going to fly the batteries out of the VTOL in that thing, which are 50, 200 more batteries. So it's going to be. I'm going to have a little fun with this shit. Yeah. So. What else is new? Haven't really seen too much on the Mini 5, even though we know it's coming. Mavic 4 got really quiet around because nobody can get it. And again, you know, if you watch the last week, I can only reiterate, if you buy your DJI equipment from another continent or even out of another country, you may not be able to register it and service it here in the US. Speaking of registering and servicing, starting in 2 days, DJI will no longer unbind drones off user accounts. So if you buy a used quad or used drone, DJI drone from somebody, the previous owner has to unbind it from his account. You will not be able to bind it into your account. You will not be able to try to apply for care refresh on it because it is not in your account. They will no longer do it, period, end of story. Quite frankly, I just wish they quit the registering to your account business altogether. But hey, I can see where it's an advantage to have these registered to an account. So if they were stolen or missing or whatever, then because there's some chassis out there that managed to get a flyaway replacement from DJI, and then they turn around and sell the old one and keep the new one. But then the poor bastard that bought the old one is trying to get it serviced at DJI, and DJI says, oh, this drone that you have actually doesn't exist anymore because it was replaced on the flyaway. So that guy is completely screwed, and whatever money he paid on it, he's not going to be able to recover any of it because he can't even get it repaired. DJI will not accept a flyaway drone for repair. The drone was replaced on the flyaway. That's it. That's the end of it. So they're really careful was use DJI equipment. And here comes Jim's. Oh, you had wife duties. What kind of wife duties do you have? Do I want to know? Do we want to know? So, again, that one, I'm still working on it. I haven't made that thing yet. So, I was going to bring it this weekend to go fly at the field, but installing lights. Your wife installs lights? Wow. Now I was going to maiden it this weekend at the field, but it was a bit windy, and I've got an issue with the flight controller coming loose on that thing, so I'm going to have to take it back apart, figure out how am I going to fix that now, and put it all back together. Yeah, that's about as much fun as I can stand. So I'm going to work on it. And here comes Johnny. Johnny Drone Flyer. Johnny, yeah, you're going to love this. Built this one over the weekend. Built this on Saturday. Deep Space Seeker 5. Highly recommend this frame. They've done a lot of things right on this thing. You've got a GPS hidden under this little front hood. And if you pay attention to the screw heads, see they've got the washer built in so they don't pull through the TPU. And wherever on the body that is, even at the motor screws. So you got this little TPU arm protector. They give you these extra screws that are a little longer with the washer to where they don't pull through the arm supports. I mean, receiver sitting back here, and you have these little TPU protectors on the other side to the stack. So, yeah, this flies very well. You got the captured XT60 on the back of the frame. Really nice frame. Really nice frame. There's a 3-inch version of this thing available. It would be a 3.5-inch. I'd buy it. I need your address? No, I don't. I don't need your address. I have your address. I got your address. I don't have your number, but I do have your address. So, you scared yet? And FTF Meteor, howdy, feller. Yeah, I got it off a newbie drone. Not exactly cheap, but for the extra features this thing has, well worth the money. And since hardly nobody ships to us anymore, I guess we'll just have to. I used Axis Flying Motors because they were available on Amazon for $60 for the set. And to say, you guys know how I always recycle, reuse and gut stuff out and put it off to the side for later use. The flight controller in this thing comes out of an old Flywoo Cinewhoop, my first Flywoo Cinewhoop that I had, the Chaser 138. That's where that flight controller came out of. I got a new ESC to go with it. Got one off AliExpress for like $30-something. Flywoo, 55 amp. Turned out to be that AM32. So yeah, this was. Oh, and they cut out the frame on the back here to where you can actually plug into the USB-C on the air unit without putting your plug in the bike. So just a good frame. Very, very impressed. Flies very nicely too. So it has 04 mounting. It has 03 mount in the front. It has the 04 mounts on it. So you're set either way. So anyhow, yeah. There's a 3-inch version of that thing available too. So where's deep space? Where that? You have two 03 air units. I still have let's see. There's the frames. Here. So they have this little deep space seeker. This is 3-inch. I wish this was a 3.5-inch. I'm buying this in a heartbeat. If this thing is as well built as the 5-inch, that'd be really nice. So let's see. Dome hat screws. Doesn't look like it has the. What's the difference in 1/2 inch? That's a question for her, but sorry, couldn't help myself. The bigger the diameter, the bigger of a disc you have, and adding 1/2 inch in in diameter actually adds almost 50% on your disc area, it makes quite a bit of difference in lift. Quite a bit of difference in lift. The 3.5 inches almost fly as well as a 5-inch. Because over here was DJI drone learning. Well, there you go. Learning is a good thing. And in this hobby, you'll never stop learning. I have a gentleman right now that I'm trying to talk through and upgrading. He contacted me because I've got a quad for sale that has walk snail on it. And no, we're talking about firmwares and you know, he wanted me to put his binding phrase on the receiver so he wouldn't have to deal with it because he's still new and young and dumb. Anyway, turns out he is on his walk snail on a firmware from 2 years ago. He hadn't upgraded his firmware in forever, apparently. The cable that he needed to update his VTXs, he didn't have those. He said you never give them to him. I don't know what's that about, but I'm literally gonna have to set up a video chat with them and work with them to get them through updating firmware on his stuff, because he is so hopelessly outdated on his. You'll have to. We'll have to work with them and see how this is going to work out. But so dead code. Let me see here. I'm going to declare you a moderator. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. So everybody here is a moderator. All right, dead code. There you go. You've been smurfed. Your show up in blue was a wrench now. So. So dead coat, tell us what do you fly? Which drone do you have? AliExpress has that frame for $88. You get it for the same money at Newbie Drone. Actually, for less than that. Newbie Drone is, I think it was $79.99. Got an Air 2S. Absolutely nothing wrong with Air 2S. Because that's what I fly too. So. Well, I've bought the frame and I bought the GPS chip, which came out to $99, and that got me free shipping with Newbie Drone. So, yeah, free shipping. Where is it? drone. There you are. Drone frame. $79.99 at Newbie Drone. As I said earlier, right now Newbie Drone is probably my favorite vendor because they've not gone totally stupid on their prices. Some of their prices are pretty steep, but all right, Chuck, go back to editing. Give us some more Icelandic stuff to see. And they also have the 3-inch frame kit for $44, which is not too bad. DJI Tello. That's a blast from the past, but it's a very nice little gateway drug, I should say. If you got kids, the Tello is an absolute hoot. So, anyhow, yeah. Now, motors I got off of Amazon and other stuff I had laying around. So, getting more O4 units seems to be the trick these days. So, not Pit Master, Edit Master. I tell you what, new graphic card makes a difference with DaVinci Resolve too. I've been playing with that a little bit already. So, anyway, let's see. That should be back next week. Yeah, the new card does help with rendering. That's for sure. It helps with a lot of stuff. Well, you want to see getting a card beat up by DaVinci Resolve, try doing that with a P2200. Don't even bother looking at the preview because it's just cha. So that's pretty much worthless. But anyhow, again, that should be back next week. He just had a doctor's appointment today. So get a Neo. Well, you know, it was all the Neo 3 or Pro or whatever Neo 2, whatever Neo next flavor of Neo is coming down the pike, and whatever new flavor of Avata is coming. I'm kind of hesitant getting onto the Neo right now. And I don't know that the Neo, I think I'd rather build this 3-inch Seeker with an air unit light than. Take care, Chuck. See you later, Lori. Yeah, I don't know that I want, well, I want the Neo or if I'm, and actually I did get one of these. So I could go Neon now. I actually got both. I got the toy too. So anyhow, yeah, again, next week, Dad should be back in the mix. We're going to have a lot of catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do. And until then, I think I'm going to wrap this up for today. It's Taco Tuesday. Well, not in my house, but I'll figure out something to eat. I'm hungry. It's been a long day. I think I want to just kick up my feet and relax for a bit. So, y'all take care. I'll see y'all next week, next Tuesday, same time, same place. If you would, hit that thumbs up on the way out, please. I'd appreciate it. And if you guys are so inclined, come back and see us next week. And Detco, if you want to subscribe, feel free to hit the subscribe button. So y'all take care. You have a good night, and we'll see you next week.